Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching A Healthy Alternative. Today, we have a special guest, a returning interviewee from, almost been almost 2 years now. Well, it's been well over a year, we'll say. Evon is back, and she's going to be updating on us on her progress, what's been going on. And so we look forward to getting into that coming up next. We're missing a piece of the puzzle. You start getting healthy and you just become a better person. We need to start focusing more on the individual. Okay, so would you like to just briefly introduce yourself before we kind of get into this so that people know who you are?
Sure. I am Evon of Eating for My Life, and that's a one instead of an I in the word life. African woman, mama, empowerment coach, and accomplisher of all that I put my mind to. I'm a single mom diagnosed with mental illnesses, PTSD, general anxiety disorder, bipolar disorder, and major depression disorder. And I'm a refined food addict and overeater in recovery. So when I was, last on your show, I was talking with everyone about sulfite-free, whole food, plant exclusive eating. And sulfite-free is the salt, oil, flour, alcohol, and sugar free eating, whole food, plant exclusive eating that I recommitted to at the beginning of last year, January 6th, 2020, and had successfully and sustainably been eating that way. When I came on your show, I was actually celebrating a month past of having dropped 64 pounds in less than 8 weeks. And my body was done. And it was already done settling and making it clear that it was settling into this new weight, this new body. And that's where we were last time I talked with you.
How has it been, over the past year or so, or, just how's it been being at your weight now and the different experience you have with life and people?
It has been exciting. It has been fun. It has been life-changing. As I have gotten more and more and more into me and in tune with what I like to do and where I like to get my dopamine hits from that has nothing to do with food and drink. I've been having a ball since the last time I was on your show. I flew a plane for the first time.
Wow.
I know. In my first pilot lesson, and I also obtained my motorcycle license, just to name a few things.
Right.
That I have been doing as I have been learning to get into me. So yeah, and I can just start letting you know what I've been up to.
Yeah, absolutely. So the last time you were on, you mentioned you had dropped 60 pounds, and being able to, get in an airplane and fly an airplane. I feel like there's probably some type of restrictions, because I know, like, for me, I'm probably too tall to be in the Air Force. So there's probably some things that you've been able to do now being in your new body. And I just wanted to highlight that because people, they don't often think about the things that they're not able to do because they just assume, oh, well, I don't want to do that anyway. But if you have the option, right? If you have the option, do you want to? So that's been amazing. But feel free. I know you're excited and anxious to get into what it is you've been up to lately. So let's have it.
Okay. Well, just even on what you were just saying, absolutely. At the beginning of last year, I could not walk more than a few steps without being out of breath and my heart beating really, really fast. My knees felt like they were going to shatter. because of the weight strain. For my skeletal makeup, the type of weight that I had been carrying around was not working at all. And my body was letting me know that. So gratefully, it's those types of things that stand out most to me, that I can walk, that I can run, that I can get around, that I can move as much as I want and not be concerned about my heart beating so fast or being out of breath. Yeah.
Yeah.
The things are super important.
It's
or being embarrassed to go upstairs around someone for fear that they're going to hear me breathing really, really heavy.
Oh, wow.
Stuff like that. You know, now I go wherever I want. I do whatever I want. I have energy through the roof to do it. And I mean, a couple of months ago, I went to explore some new waterfalls. And it's not even a second thought to me what type of hiking is going to be necessary to get to those waterfalls. It's, I'm going. Oh, I've never been to those waterfalls before. I'm going. And that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pack my food, because prep is everything for me, and I'm out. So yeah. But since the last time we have spoken on your show, I've continued to successfully and sustainably keep this 60+ pounds off. It's been over 14 months now. I'm celebrating 21 months right now of sober eating, so fast-free, whole food, plain exclusive, just a few months shy of 2 years on January the 6th of next year. So of course I'm super excited. Though I have been an empowerment coach and holistic practitioner for over 20 years, in September of last year, I did add the topic of refined food addiction and overeating recovery to my coaching. So it's been a year now since that topic has been added. In November, the end of November of last year is when I released my first ebook, Eating for My Life. Yes. Eating for My Life, salt, oil, flour, alcohol, sugar, free, whole food, plain exclusive, a liberating journey. Yes, it's a long title.
Very long title.
But that ebook, it details freedom, which is the acronym for a 7-step process that I came up with and that I created to successfully and sustainably assist me in continuing, recommitting to eating so fast-free, whole food, plain exclusive, and successfully and sustainably continuing to do so. And gratefully, it has also been helping so many other people. In December the 10th, so basically not even 2 weeks later, The Beat, which is, I'm not sure if you're familiar with, BEET. It's a media publication. Jermaine Dupri is a celebrity editor, and they dropped my first person story, and it started trending on Google News immediately the same day. Other news outlets, they picked it up immediately and started syndicating it. So that was super exciting. That was my first time trending on Google. And then a few weeks later, I announced that Eating for My Life's first 8-week online masterclass, which is called Freedom Looks Good on You, because it does, was going to begin in the new year of this year.
Okay.
So, yeah. So January 6th of this year, I celebrated a year successfully and sustainably being on this journey again. And then in February, on International Black Love Day, I released my second ebook. And that is titled Let Go or Be Dragged, Learning the Healing Art of Letting Go. Which details an 8-step process that I created to the acronym SelfCare. And I want to quickly say I talked about the 7-step process, freedom. And that stands for form a plan for success, research, establish your why. Why do you want to eat the way you want to eat? Why do you want to make the changes you want to make? Establish your support system, starting with being your own support system. Decide to banish people pleasing of any sort, so that as you move forward and discover all sorts of changes that are going to happen, you're able to stand on your square and not be concerned about what anybody says, because people are going to have a lot to say. The O is for obtaining awareness of your environment, being honest with yourself about what works for you, what doesn't, what triggers you, what doesn't, and where are you going to be. And the M is for making our journey our own. So self-care, the 8-step process that I came up with to assist me at first with learning the sacred art of divine self-care, which I have been noticing is a core part of this journey. The more I get into sulfite-free, whole food, plant exclusive eating, the more I realize being in tune with myself, being able to hear my body when it's telling me I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I'm tired, and all of the above involves self-care. And it also involves understanding when and how to let go of ideas and people that don't serve us positively. So self-care stands for focusing on saving ourselves. And the E is for what excites us. Getting into, as I was saying earlier, flying the plane, driving a motorcycle. What do I actually really like to do that has nothing to do with eating or drinking? The L is focusing on loving ourselves, realizing what does that look like? Does that have to do with what we're consuming, what we're drinking, who we're allowing around us, what we're watching, what we're listening to, what we're reading, what type of spaces we're in? The F is focusing on forgiving ourselves, because I'm sure Chris, none of us are perfect. So we trip up and we do things that we're not proud of. But when we're able to forgive ourselves, it takes us a long way in being successful at whatever journey that we're on. The C is for cutting out negatrons, because negative people have no place in our lives when we are interested in making changes that we want to be sustainable. The A is for advocating for ourselves, and that's self-explanatory. The R, respecting ourselves. And what does that look like? Not allowing anybody else to tell us what that looks like, but making our own definitions of what that looks like. And the E is for embracing our journey as our own, recognizing that we're all individuals and we're on unique journeys. As much as we're all connected, we don't need to be attempting to compare ourselves to each other. So as a result, and there was a bonus soundtrack with that, featuring some of yours truly, breakthrough original spoken word and songs. And then in June of this year, Forks Over Knives released their summer edition of their magazine across the United States and Canada and online. And your girl's article was in there, and that was phenomenal to be able to see that come to pass. It was an article that I wrote for them, and they included some tips as well in there that I'd given them in regards to how to curb and deal with cravings And then in September, which is the month that we're in right now, when they went to take the summer edition off the racks, put the fall edition on the racks, they then transitioned my story online, and it has been trending on Google News. So that's the second time in less than a year, ever since, which has been about a week and a half ago now. So yeah, that's what's been going on, Chris.
It sounds like you've been doing a lot of trending.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, well, I think that it's because right now, well, for the past at least 5 years, the people have been wanting this information. They've been yearning for the change. We are bursting at the seams. We are sick. We are uncomfortable. We're in bad relationships. And I feel like it's all connected. And I think that it's all starting to kind of fall down and crumble, and people are ready. Like, what can we do to make these changes? One of the things that like used to bother me is people had this idea that we're like, especially in America, we're just lazy. We don't want to do anything. We're not interested in outcomes. And I would see people working their butt off at the gym, measuring their food, like all of this crazy stuff. And it's just like, there's no way that they don't want the outcomes, but what we're being taught is misleading, right? So now when people like you are putting this information out there, as soon as people get a glimpse of it, they're like, they're on it.
Right.
You know, they see something that works.
Yeah.
I noticed that you mentioned, you mentioned getting away from people pleasing as well as removing negative people from your life. What impact do you think it has when you can't let go of people pleasing, or you can't let go of those individuals who are detracting, from your goals?
It's a major distraction. And it is very, very difficult for you to be able to focus on whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. Because instead of being most concerned with loving up on yourself and nurturing yourself in whatever ways that you want to do, you're more concerned with this, what is this person saying about it? What is that person saying about it? And someone told me about this metaphor years ago, and I like it. It's like when you have a water hose. You turn it on, you turn the water comes out full force. But if something is on the water hose, if anything is on it, now there's a kink in it. Now the water's not coming out full force. And I liken that to our focus on whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish. And the negatrons and the people pleasing, they're the kinks. Got to get rid of the kinks so that we have the full focus. We have the full pressure,
I like that.
Right?
Yeah, that's really good, because literally I can envision me being this water hose and I'm just flowing, free flowing. Yes. And then someone just comes and like steps on it and like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the thing is, Chris, we see who's stepping on it. So it's about advocating for ourselves, right? And saying, get off my daggone hose. Move out the way, because we got things to do. And actually removing them. It is not necessarily the easiest thing, but the more that we do it, the more that we recognize how important it is that we have our boundaries and that we stand on our square and that we stay focused on what it is that we're interested in accomplishing, the more it becomes easier. Get out the way. No, there's no room for you here, I'm sure for as long as you've been doing the powerful work that you have been doing, plenty of people got things to say. Plenty of people have no idea what you're doing, they have no idea, but they still have something to say, some close to you, family, friends, which matters even more, still have something to say because they don't understand. And when you have clarity about what it is that you want to accomplish and you keep that in the forefront of your mind, then it can become easier to set people in their proper place, stay on your path. You know, at the beginning of last year, that is the reason why I put decide to banish people pleasing in that 7-step process, because that is literally something that I had to think about as I was getting ready to recommit to eating this way. Because back in 2017, when I first started it and was experimenting with it, I dropped 40 pounds in 4 months. I heard all sorts and I let it get to me. Oh my gosh, don't blow away. Don't get too small. Oh God, you starting to look too skinny now. You look malnourished. You. I didn't ask for any of these comments. I didn't ask for any of these judgments. It was so unexpected because I didn't even know that I was going to drop all of that weight. You know what I mean? And I was trying to deal with so much being in this body and not realizing that I was ever get to this size again. So I let it affect me. But at the beginning of last year, as I was getting ready to recommit, I remember specifically saying, you ain't going to be able to let it affect you this time. You're going to have to definitely banish any kind of people pleasing at all. You're going to stand on your square. They going to have it to say, and they're still saying it. When Forks Over Knives just transitioned my story online, I'm not even going to lie. I was a little bit taken aback when I went onto their Facebook page and looked at my article. And I see all of these phenomenal, encouraging comments. And then, vegans don't look emaciated. Right. Oh gosh, what's wrong with women that want to look skeletal instead of voluptuous? Right. Oh gosh, she looked way better in her before picture. Oh gosh, she wasn't fabulous in her before picture or her after picture. And I was like, oh. And then I was like, yeah, and so we gonna keep it moving. Keep it moving. Because you know what I mean? Hey, I banish people pleasing. So these people, they just talking to themselves.
100%.
Yeah, like, not me.
Those people who say those things, they're not happy with themselves. So they're projecting. Obvious. Yeah.
It's obvious.
Like that's something being in the public eye, you got to understand that, because most people are going to give you good feedback, great energy, but those little 1 or 2 detractors have so much weight sometimes. And it's like, they're just projecting. Yeah. They're so unhappy. They're so uncomfortable. I've talked to so many women who have the look that everybody wants, and they're uncomfortable in their body, right? They're not able to do things they want to do. And it's hard keeping up the facade, right? So they're mentally stressed. There's a lot. You literally not just lost physical weight, but you lost the mental weight that comes along with the weight, right?
And that's what I was going to say. A part of what I've been up to last year, Chris, is I've been learning how to get comfortable in this new size body. I've been learning how to decondition my mind from thinking I'm bigger. It's still a process. I was thinking about it a couple of months ago because I like to do my bikini and swimsuit shopping in like February, March, okay? And because that's when the stores will bring that stuff out anyway. And I had actually purchased some bikinis, and my youngest daughter was like, they look wonderful, mommy. And I remember thinking, I don't know. And then by the time June came, I was like, yeah. And my daughter specifically was like, I'm so happy to see you more comfortable in your body, mommy. And I'm like, this is it. Like, this is not an overnight process. When you are used to not feeling good about yourself no matter what size you are.
Right.
You know, when you are used to having low self-esteem and low self-confidence, which has been my story, Chris, for many, many years. Whatever size you are, as you start to learn how to love up on yourself, nurture yourself, and recognize what does that look like, it takes time. It takes time. I continue to work on that, you know, every day, and I will be for the rest of my life. Yeah, for sure.
How long would you say you've been in on this journey?
Oh gosh, I've been on this journey for over 26 years, you know, since I officially became an adult and came from up under the structured eating that my parents had in place, which was relatively, as we discussed last year, was relatively more healthier than a lot of families. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this journey of growing and learning how, rising in love with myself, that is how I describe it. And yeah, it's had so much more to do with that than weight and food. So much more.
Oh yeah. Because the weight is and the food, they're coping mechanisms, they're byproducts of the deeper issue.
Absolutely.
And one thing that I want to highlight just listening to you is, as you went through this journey, this lifelong journey, things have been getting better, right? You've been having more fun. So I think sometimes people think 21 years or whatever, you know, oh, it's going to take forever. It's a lifelong thing.
It is. I love to say it's not bow wrapped. It's not this box with this bow on it with a note that says destination. You're here. You made it. It's on. You know, these different articles and these different news outlets, you know, they're going to sensationalize things. She conquered food addiction.
Right.
She beat junk food addiction, blah, blah, blah. And I understand, you know, they do what they do because that's their business. But I always chuckle a little bit when I see whatever they've come up with, because I think to myself, if only you knew, like, this isn't about beating anything or conquering anything. This is a day by day by day process, and it always will be. And it is important for me to keep reminding myself of that. So many people have reached out to me and let me know that it is because I refuse to act like there's some cookie cutter process, the end all be all, and that's it. You're cured. It's over. It's done. That is what has encouraged so many people, is what they have let me know, because I refuse to act like that perfection is here now.
Right.
No. As a matter of fact, just a few weeks ago, I had a bout with overeating. I've been dealing with some emotional things in regards to becoming an empty nester for the first time. My youngest just went off to college 4.5 weeks ago for the first time. And my dad has been dealing with a lot of health issues since the beginning of the summer. And just like that, I forgot very important things that I know. I forgot. I conveniently started convincing myself that a way to be able to deal with these emotions was to start experimenting with fixing sulfose-free, whole food plant exclusive, high calorie density desserts. And just like that, I started giving my freedom away again. And just like that, every day, dealing with dried fruit, nuts, dates, processing up these So phosphate whole food plant exclusive, foods. My brain was saying, let's get some more. Let's get some more. Let's eat some more. And it was rinse and repeat. And that went on for a couple of weeks until I was so exhausted. I knew exactly what was happening. I'm just watching myself do it. But my body, because I'm more in tune now with myself than before, my body literally started breaking down. I started getting pains in places that I haven't had pains, Chris.
Right.
I'm overeating, so I can't sleep at night because my body is too busy processing all this food. It doesn't matter that it's sulfose-free whole food plant exclusive. Overeating, that's a part of it. I'm a refined food addict and overeater in recovery.
Right.
And this was a stark reminder recently of how important it is for me to stay vigilant, of how important it is for me to stay honest with my therapist and with myself and not try to solve things on my own. When we condition ourselves and we look around us and we see everybody dealing with things via food and alcohol and drugs and so on and so forth, we get this message that that's how you deal. I'm 45 years old. I have 45 years of that message. I'm still deconditioning go-tos,
Right.
I got my freedom back though. I got my freedom back. I'm telling you, I was like, nah, this is that enslavement again. I can't do this. This is not me. This is not my life. This is not gonna be my life. I was starting to isolate myself, Chris. I wasn't really going anywhere, and then I started feeling those old familiar symptoms of depression, feeling disappointed in myself. And that just makes me want to really isolate even more. And I was like, nah, and I'm so grateful, the clarity of thinking that I have, with eating like this. It makes such a big difference. I got the stuff out my house, okay? And I said, let's get back to the basics, low calorie density. I don't want to think about the food after I eat it. And I don't. When I eat sulfose-free whole food plant exclusive, low calorie density, I don't think about the food after I eat it. It's just simply the body needs fuel. Check that box. Let's go. What's next?
It's very interesting. I think that it's funny that you went into that because that was actually one of my questions, right? How do you kind of maintain when things aren't going well, right? When adversity happens.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I think you said, which is key, is not retreating into yourself. You've got a therapist, maybe you have some friends or family, somebody around you to help support you, not feeling like you are on your own. You got to do it on your own, because I feel like part of the conditioning that we go through is you got to do it yourself. You got to get out there and do everything on your own. And that's not how we're made.
No, it's not. No, it's not. We really are not. And I'll be honest with you, Chris, that is one of the things that stood out for me the most recently, is that I did reach out to my therapist for the first time and ask for an emergency appointment. I've never done that before. I did reach out to a select few family members and friends who I know would not judge me. And I let them know, this is what I'm going through. I'm not going to let depression win this time. And they understood immediately. That's my first time doing it. So
another step in the right direction.
Yeah.
And this is also why it's so important to get rid of these negatrons, so that when you do reach out, you're not accidentally tripping over these guys, because they're going to help you. They're going to help you go back the way that you don't want to go.
Oh, Chris, that's another thing since the last time I spoke with you. it's been many that have had to be let go. Absolutely. You know, absolutely. Yeah.
But
And life is good. You know?
that's the key though. Like I used to hear this saying that the more you let go, the more you can receive, right?
Come on now.
We
It's
can
true.
we can only hold on to so much. So do you want to waste your capacity holding on to these people that are dragging you down and just baggage? They're not doing anything for
Positively
you.
contributing
Right.
to our lives,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
Same thing with the ideas, right? Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Um, that's a I think that's a really good theme right now. We just got finished doing our 21-day challenge,
Okay.
which it's been amazing. And some of the members talk about their relationships with their spouse or their friends. When you start going down these different paths, whether it's fasting or other lifestyle changes, people either don't understand it or they don't like what they see. They're used to you being a certain way, and change is uncomfortable for people. So sometimes, even if they're as close as a spouse, I mean, you got to have a conversation. Y'all got to get on the same page. You got to be really intentional about it, because if not, I mean, it's your life. Like,
come on now. It's true.
do you want to
Very
continue to
right
be in
about that.
pain?
Exactly.
It's
No.
so.
Mm-mm.
That's excellent. I wanted to give you an opportunity if there was anything else that you wanted to kind of discuss before we wrap up, because I know you've had a lot going on. You offer a wide range of coaching and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And actually, the last video that we did, a lot of people, it resonated, right? They would hit me up and they would talk about how, what you said resonated with them. So I'm glad that you share that with the world, and you're building a community of people that you can help.
Yeah, it has been so phenomenal. Just to be able to assist people and support people literally all over the world, and see their lives literally changing, talking with them. My clients that I have been coaching since last year, some of them are signed on through next year. And just whatever amount of time that I get to spend with them, it's just amazing. And it feels like such a privilege to be able to have a part in them making these types of changes. I love it. So to answer what you were saying, definitely we have the ebook. Well, both of the ebooks are available, as well as the masterclass, Freedom Looks Good on You, coaching immersion, because it upgraded eventually to the coaching immersion, which it's the 8-week private online masterclass that also includes 30-minute phone coaching session every week during that 8 weeks, as well as your access to your email and your text coaching and the actual curriculum of the class. We do meal plan support. We do video coaching, email text coaching, phone coaching, cooking coaching. Yeah.
That's good. That meal plan support is going to be huge, because what you are promoting is it's different. It's completely different, right? And so people need that. It's actually one of the things that I'm personally like, you know what, I'm ready to start helping people with their food, because it's one of the things that is probably the most popular. But it just was never like naturally for me. I'm not a chef. I'm not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm just, it's so important. And
it is. And you know what? I think, well, you may not remember, but I was telling you last year, I did at the beginning of 2017, when I first discovered this way of eating, I didn't even think I could cook. And so since 2017 up until now, I have been learning, learning, learning. And last year, I really doubled down because I was
Okay.
like, oh, I'm going to do this. And I wound up becoming an excellent chef. Here's the thing. Even with that, I was still very, very reluctant to offer meal plan support or even use the word meal plan. I don't like the words because what I notice a lot of people associate that with is tell us exactly what you eat every day at this time, at this time, at this time. And it's like, no. If you pay attention to my story, you'll understand I eat when my body calls for fuel. And all of that cooking that I did last year and the over 40 of my favorite SoFast free whole food plant exclusive recipes that come in my ebook, they assisted me with the transition.
Right.
As neuroadaptation has occurred with my palate, with my taste buds, now I just appreciate the good, beautiful taste of whole food plants in their natural state. I use very few spices. Like I've used Mrs. Dash salt substitute and cinnamon, literally. If you catch me out anywhere, staying overnight somewhere, those are the two that I have with me. And that's for my baked potato, my sweet potato, baked potato, and whatever vegetables I'm eating. I keep it simple. I call it KISS. I keep it SOSFF simple because that's where I am now. And as I was just reminded a couple of weeks ago, that's what keeps me not thinking about the food after I'm done. So I was real reluctant to even say I would offer any type of meals plan support. But what I realized is that I can assist, and I am doing it already inside of the masterclass with new ideas every week, even outside of the recipes that are in the ebook. And so that's what I've been doing. You know, clients have been obtaining that type of meal plan support to assist them in their transition as they, you know, work to figure it out. Yeah. But no two of my clients' stories are the same, and their journeys are not exactly alike. So everyone's different. And I think it's important for me to always make sure people understand that I'm going to treat you as an individual. I'm going to hold space for you as you start to discover all sorts of things about yourself. And it doesn't matter if you eat meat. Some of my clients eat meat and they don't put salt, oil, or flour or sugar on it.
Right.
And guess what? Their lives have been changing. They've been eating way more vegetables than they were before. I meet people where they are, Chris. You know, I'm tired, and I'm sure you are too, of the cookie cutter. You know, do it just like this, just like how I tell you.
Yep.
You will get these results. And if you don't, then that means it's your fault. You messed up. And you're going to feel way worse than you did when you first started. No way. I'm tired of that.
Yeah.
So nothing I do is like that. No. Freedom looks good on you. It's figuring out what it looks like on you. You know? So, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's the message. I literally just had this conversation maybe 2 days ago. Someone was asking, what exactly should I be doing for, you know, my refeed? And I'm like, it's a guideline. The goal here is to understand the mechanics of it so that you can adapt it to your specific needs.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Because each of us live different lives. We have different things going on, different stressors, different routines, everything. So while some people feel like they're hungry when they first get up in the morning, others aren't. Each of us are so different. And that's one of the things that I've loved about eating like this. It isn't about, I need to eat this many meals a day, and I don't have to do any of that.
Right.
I don't have to count how many meals. I don't have to count carbs. I don't have to count calories. I don't have to count sodium intake, you know, or refined sugar. I don't have to count anything. All I need to do is eat these plants in the whole form that they're growing, fix them, you know, in as simple way as possible, and nature does the rest. I love it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, listen, this has been a pleasure. I'm glad that you reached out and came back on and shared,
Yes. I'm like, it's been over a year.
Yeah. So I guess, do you have a website I can put? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So it's eatingformylife.com, and that's EatingForMyL1fe. There's a 1 instead of an I in the word life. And social media, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and our Facebook page, all the same. Eating for My Life. Easy. A 1 instead of an I. Yes.
All right. I'm gonna put that in the description box for you all so you can check her out and see maybe what she has to offer is gonna work for you. That's the beauty of AHA, right? Being this hub for different ideas, different ways of life, and you know what I mean? I love it. So
I do too. You're doing some powerful things, Chris. I told you that before, and you still continuing to do that. And I hope you're proud of yourself. Yeah.
I take some time to be proud of myself.
You better. You know what I got, Chris? I have something called, I developed this starting last year. And there's another way that I love up on myself. It's called a wow, but now it's more than one. And that's a wall of wins. I don't drink. I don't, take drugs, and I don't eat to celebrate or comfort myself. Okay. So guess what? Balloons, printing out stuff, laminating different wins, all over the wall. Now it's more than one wall. Wall of wins, my wows.
That's good.
Right?
It's kind of like similar to a vision board, but like the opposite. Like it's what you've accomplished.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And the way it helps me sometimes when I'm questioning myself and doubting myself sometimes, all I gotta do is look at the wow and say, girl, what you doing? You better stop tripping. You didn't come this far just to come this far.
Wow. Wall of wins. That's good. That's very good. All right.
Celebrate everything. Don't wait on anybody, Chris.
Definitely. I gotta come up with something that makes sense for me, because I like that.
I feel you. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure. Hopefully you all got something beneficial out of this. If you did, do not forget to hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already. What are you waiting for? And as always, the application of knowledge is power, and I'll see you all on the next one.